On the 12th consecutive night of protests in Seattle, hundreds of people stormed City Hall and demanded the resignation of Mayor Jenny Durkan. The protesters were reportedly allowed access to the building by a Seattle City Council member. Protests have been held every day here since video was released showing the killing of George Floyd. But tensions reached boiling point over the weekend. Capitol Hill resembled a battlefield as police deployed tear gas to disperse crowds, just one day after the mayor announced a 30-day ban on its use. On Sunday evening, a man sped his car into demonstrators, shooting one of them in the arm as he came to a stop. He then got out and brandished his gun at those around him before handing himself in to police. But now, law enforcement have retreated from Capitol Hill in what they've described as an exercise in trust and de-escalation. Protesters have established a barricaded autonomous zone around the local police precinct, which appears to have been evacuated. Seattle's mayor has so far resisted calls for her to stand down, but the pressure is growing.
So a bunch of BLM protesters, communists and Antifa types have taken over a portion of Seattle CBD and declared it the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, or CHAZ for short. The zone was declared after local police abandoned their precinct and retreated from the area. Now, in addition to tents, free food, rallies, art making, and no doubt the odd drum circle or two, the occupying community has put out a list of demands. A list of demands that are contradictory and retarded. We will go through that list of demands right after this 30-second sponsor. In 2000 and current year, it's really important to keep your body healthy all the time. Collagen may be the closest thing we'll ever get to the so-called fountain of youth, while also forming a wall of defense between your immune system and the rest of your body. A lot of health experts now agree that consuming collagen is crucial when it comes to renewing and revitalizing how you look and feel. So visit my page at healthwithbear.com and secure your supply of the only collagen on the market I trust. Link in the description. Okay, we're not going to go through this entire list because it is rather long. We're just going to go through some choice demands. Here we go. The Seattle Police Department and attached court system are beyond reform. We do not request reform, we demand abolition. We demand that the Seattle Council and the Mayor defund and abolish the Seattle Police Department and the attached criminal justice apparatus. This means 100% of the funding, including existing pensions for Seattle Police, at an equal level of priority. We also demand that the city disallow the operations of ICE in the city of Seattle. Okay, so get rid of the cops, get rid of the courts, and illegal aliens, totally fine. Don't do a fucking thing about them. But 100% of the existing pensions for Seattle police? Are you suggesting that old retired police should lose their pensions? What a cunt of a thing to demand. In the transitionary period between now and the dismantlement of the Seattle Police Department, we demand that the use of armed force be banned entirely. No guns, no batons, no riot shields, no chemical weapons, especially against those exercising their First Amendment rights as Americans to protest. Yeah, but what about when you cunts start throwing rocks and bricks and Molotov cocktails and setting fire to shit? Are they allowed to use shields then? Also, I didn't think CHAZ was part of the USA. So how are the CHAZ community Americans, you fucking retards? We demand reparations for victims of police brutality in a form to be determined. I mean, what if that form to be determined is draw and quarter them? Fucking stupidity. We demand a retrial of all people of colour currently serving a prison sentence for violent crime by a jury of their peers in their community. Didn't you guys just demand the abolition of all the courts? Where exactly are they going to be retried? And weren't they already tried by a jury of their peers? And why just people of colour, you racist cunts? Jesus. We demand decriminalisation of the acts of protest and amnesty for protesters generally, but specifically those involved in what's been termed the George Floyd Rebellion against the terrorist cell that previously occupied this area, known as the Seattle Police Department. Okay, that's just retarded. Where do I even start? acts of protest? You mean fucking riot? The George Floyd rebellion wasn't a protest, it was a riot. Especially in this area. Why do you think the police department fucked off? And how are the police department a terrorist cell? This is just fucking stupid. We demand the City of Seattle and state government release any prisoner currently serving time for resisting arrest if there are no other related charges, and that those convictions should also be expunged. I mean, resisting arrest is a crime. Like, if there's no penalty for resisting arrest, then the police have no powers of arrest. You can just resist arrest without any possibility of punishment. That's fucking stupid. That renders the police pretty much powerless. We demand that prisoners currently serving time be given the full and unrestricted right to vote, and for Washington State to pass legislation specifically breaking from federal law that prevents felons from being able to vote. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I mean, the guy currently serving time for raping your daughter or killing your sister, let him have equal say in the way society's run. Fucking morons. We demand the abolition of imprisonment, generally speaking, but especially the abolition of both youth prisons and privately owned for-profit prisons. Okay, I agree with the privately owned for-profit prisons, but imprisonment in general? I mean, where do you put the rapists and the murderers and shit? We demand that the funding previously used for the Seattle Police be redirected into A. Socialised health and medicine for the City of Seattle, B. Free public housing because housing is a right, not a privilege, C. Public education to decrease the average class size in city schools and increase teacher salary, D. Naturalisation services for immigrants to the United States living here undocumented. We demand they be called undocumented because no person is illegal, E. General community development, parks, etc. Okay, the naturalisation services for illegal immigrants is a bit stupid, but the real problem I have with this one is the free public housing because housing is a right. Housing's not a fucking right. I mean, what if you're stuck out in the bush with one other person and that person happens to be a builder? Is he obligated to build you a house? Of course he's fucking not. We demand that between now and the abolition of the Seattle Police Department, that Seattle Police be prohibited from performing homeless sweeps that displace and disturb our homeless neighbours. And on equal footing, we demand an end to all evictions. So, you demand free rent always and forever. Because, I mean, if evictions aren't allowed, then why pay rent? You stupid motherfuckers. We demand that the people of Seattle seek out and proudly support black-owned businesses. Your money is our power and sustainability. Okay, how the fuck do you force everyone in Seattle to support black businesses? And even if you could, how do you force them to do it proudly? I mean, is it not enough if they just support them? Do they have to be proud while they're doing it? Fuck me, this is so spastic. Okay, this is the last one we're going to cover. Thank fuck this is over. We demand that thorough anti-bias training become a legal requirement for all jobs in the education system, as well as in the medical profession and in mass media. You know what that means? Brainwashing. You gotta think like us or you can't work in these industries. Go fuck yourself. That's it from me. See you in the next one, catcher. Recession!